Repeat after me, child of God. False prophets have feared anxiety, but as the divine showed the holy fire, it doesn't just burn what's going against you, it destroys enemies' walls. Record how David facing that giant that terrorizing entire army. This day the Lord will deliver you to my hand. With that same confidence, I declare that your spiritual Goliath fall now. The intimidation circumstances, the towering problems, the seemingly invincible attacks all fall with the perfect stone of a divine intervention. The giant's own sword, the very weapons fashioned against you, become the instruments of the enemy's defeat. What was meant to behead you now behead every attack launched against your purpose. Feel heaven's reposition taking place in your spiritual atmosphere. Angels strategically staying on every vulnerable point in your life, creating an impenetrable network of protection. These heavenly guardians, mighty in the power, perfect in the obedience, now receive fresh signs concerning you, instructed to God, guiding, endorsing your life against every attack. The spiritual aspect of your circumstances is cleared from enemy activity as heaven forces establish complete dominance. No weapon, no word, no curse can penetrate this divine shield. The spiritual laws of divine activate fully in your situation. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Whatever one sow, that he will also reap. Those who sow destruction in your life now watch in horror as they harvest manifest their own circumstances. The divine boomerang effect operates with a perfect accuracy, returning not what just sent to you, but multiplied according to heaven's justice. You need not seek vengeance. Divine reciprocity will work with the perfect provision through heaven's unchangeable laws. Just as Joshua commanded the sun to stand still for Israelites and to look complete until they pass complete, time itself cooperates with heaven's purposes in your life. As God extends the daylight needed for you to complete a victory, the enemy's deadline for your defeat is cancelled by the heaven's authority. What the adversary planned to accomplish against you now runs out of time. Now you receive the extension needed for total triumphant. Divine timing overrule every demonic timetable set against your life and purpose. The Red Sea moment has arrived in the spiritual journey, and what appeared to be impossible situation trapped between advancement enemies and barriers now reveals God's perfect escape. Yes, the water's impossibility part before you, creating a pathway when no pathway existing. Walk forward in dry ground with walls of divine protection on either sides. The same waters that may weigh your deliverance will crash down upon your pursuers, swallowing every attack launched against you. What began as a trap become a testimony of divine intervention. I release the sound of heaven under the sound of my voice to shatter every wall and dismantle a frequency, every stronghold, every spiritual fortress against you. Structures of oppression that have stood for generation in your bloodline will crumble to dust as heaven sounds waves through your circumstances. The spiritual architect designed attacked you will watch in disbelief as their malice will collapse. Nothing purposes would stand in the divine demolition. As Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walk through flames, accompanied by the fourth man, and now you walk through with divine companionship. They walked in fire. The very fire intended to destroy you will become the environment for your greatest elevation. Those watching your life are in sign of defeat. Witness a supernatural preservation that defies natural explanation. The flames that should have consumed you cannot even touch your hair on your head. You emerge from the trial without a smell of smoke. Powerful testimony to divine protection, divine exchange. Prophesies in Isaiah about your experience. Beauty for ashes, the joy for mourning, the garment of praise of spirit of heaviness. Everything that the enemy stole is being restored and upgraded from your losses, transforming to gains, setbacks into setups, your wounds into wisdom. The spiritual exchanges happening now, operating in heaven's economy. While nothing is wasted, even your deepest pain become a foundation of your highest self. Yet what the enemy meant for evil, God transformed into instrument for unprecedented good. Heaven spotlight now illuminate every hidden attack in the darkness. Nothing is hidden, will not be made manifest, nor anything secret that will not be known and come to light. The spiritual cockroaches soaring in darkness no longer can hide. The divine light exposes every secret plot. Those whispered curses against you find their word broadcast on heaven's loudspeaker. Every covert operation launched against your peace and stand exposed and neutralized, reversed by heaven, perfect counterintelligent. This spiritual momentum building in your life cannot be stopped by human or demonic interference. Like a mighty river that has breached its banks, heaven's purpose to flood every area of your existence with unstoppable force. What begins in this moment continues with increasing strength and clarity. The spiritual gains secured today become a foundation of tomorrow's victory. The breakthroughs manifest now create pathways for even greater demonstration of divine power. This is not the climax of spiritual victory. It's only the beginning of heaven's unstoppable plans and advance in your life as heaven's authority continue to transform the spiritual landscape. Feel the deep currents of divine power, restructuring your reality from inside out. What began as a prayer protection now manifests as a complete spiritual renovation of your circumstances. The foundational pillars of darkness supported attacks against you are being uprooted and replaced with unshakable divine structure. The spiritual fault lines that created vulnerability in your life and are now sealed with heaven's reinforced protection. Like Nehemiah said, surveying in Jerusalem completed walls, taking the moment witness to finish the work of divine fortification surrounding every aspect of your existence. The spiritual transformation happening now radiance, affecting every environment that you enter. Just Peter's shadow carried the healing power and it become disruptive to darkness. The light within you reach a critical mass. It can no longer be contained, but spills outward with transformative force. Spiritual pollutants that once contaminated your atmosphere, it's all dissolved, purifying with your light. The enemy that once sensed your vulnerability now perceive your spiritual authority and retreat before you even engage. You have been transformed from prey to predator in the spiritual realm, from defensive victim to offensive warrior. In heaven's perfect timing, your season of spiritual testing transition into a season of supernatural testimony. The very circumstances that threaten to break you become the backdrop of your greatest breakthrough. Just as Joseph declared to his brothers, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. Every attack launched against you is being divinely repurposed. No weapon formed against you will prosper. A person with a testimony, the devil can't touch, the devil can't defeat. You have a testimony. The devil can defeat only people that have no testimony, have no fight, have no scars, that become stars. And it's that similar, the spiritual heritage of warfare that handed down through bloodlines and with you. Generational curses that pursued your family for decades, even centuries, hit an impenetrable wall with your name in it. By divine authority, I declare the buck stops here. The spiritual DNA carrying vulnerability to specific attacks is restructured by divine genetic engineering. Future generations will inherit your victory, not your vulnerability. They will stand on the elevated ground that is you secured through this spiritual battle. The enemies that studied your ancestral weaknesses find their intelligence suddenly obsolete as heaven rewrites spiritual genetic code. Every word spoken against you, every curse, every hex, incantation, evil prayer, and negative prophecy, it's not just neutralized, it's reversed, and it have a part in modifying your DNA. Yes, that's how every dark declaration boomerangs back to the source with multiplied force. That's how the evil turn to your good. Now they find themselves trapped in their own creation, the web of confusion to struggle in their own sticky situation. Those who launched spiritual arrows against your purpose, watch in horror now, because their project is a course of a mid-air returning of divine acceleration toward to the archer. I seal with heaven's authority every spiritual victory you claimed during this prayer. Call it declaration, call it cannot be reversed, revoked, appealed, or overturned by any power in heaven or on earth or beneath the earth. The divine signature and spiritual protection document carry authority. A cosmic force, the protective boundaries established today are enforced by heaven. Most powerful angels never tired and never abandoned the posts. When the enemy returns to re-inspect your life with vulnerability, they will find only impenetrable via divine fortification, off-limit marked in heaven. From this moment forward, you operate under a new spiritual administration. The governing authorities over your circumstances have changed hands from darkness to light, from oppression to freedom, from defeat to victory. The 3D laws doesn't go on you. Let me tell you. When you're standing in your divinity, they can't impose the 3D law. Because when you stand in your divinity, you're not a corrupted person. Right? Their corruption don't hold advantage on you. You know, most of them, when they want to do something with the law, they have to do sorcery, spell and binding, and you know, it doesn't work on you. Tell them, who's the man between you gonna take me to court? To the high courts, take me to any court. Any court I enter, I win. I already won in the court of heaven. You know? International law, I win. I win even if I open a lawyer office, I win. I always win. Because as above is perfect, as below has to be manifested. That's why they fear you. That's why they fear you, divine beings. Don't let those meaningless, wicked, put any fear on you. You have authority. You have advantage. Yes, you have authority. I call judgment. You know, and it will gonna manifest on the ground.